Hey, what's up everybody? This is Superwork501 and today I wanted to go over something a bit special, and that's going to be showing off some of the new DLC items before the DLC was out. So past that, we have to go over a few things. First off, if you don't want to get spoiled for any of these items, you don't want to know what they do or anything like that, stop watching the video right now. Don't keep watching further because these are actual DLC items. Now, how I was able to get them? I didn't spawn these in, but this is how you get them. Since there is support for the DLC already in the game, the spawn codes and item pools for these items are already in. Now, I will link where I got these. It is a Nexus mod character download that someone spawned them all in and had a ton on one character. I'll link that in the description, but I'm also going to share this character, like my version of this character with the DLC items on, because that one from Nexus Mods has like 350 items modded onto it, so basically unlimited character space, and it took me around a half an hour to drop 200 plus items legitimately, and I have a really good PC now, so I don't want you guys even going through that. If you guys want to check out some of the items right now, I'll give you guys my character save so you guys don't have to, go through like 30 seconds to a minute load every time you want to go into your inventory. With all that stuff out of the way, these are items that are in the DLC. I won't be using these on any of my characters past just doing the videos, mainly because I don't want to ruin the game for myself and the DLC for myself. So take all that into consideration. This is mainly just for checking out the items, and for more informational purposes, I'll probably be doing videos on how to get all these items and the different roles and elements and all that stuff that they can come with. These are just mainly kind of a sneak preview of the weapons. So with all that out of the way, if you're still here watching, I'm going to be going over 4 different items every video, and I think I have a dozen items from the DLC. I have no idea if these are all the items. I'm going to go over 4 weapons a video. Then we have the 4 character class mods. I don't know how many videos those are going to be split into, probably 1. So there's going to be quite a few videos before the DLC comes out of all the new weapons. So first off, we have the Burning Scoville, and this is a Torgue weapon. It can roll ×2. Also, I didn't see any new anointed effects. This is ×2. It's a Torgue weapon. And I did save one. I think I actually dropped it, but I did look at unanointed ones. These don't have any sticky gyro jets on them, so it's just a Torgue explosive pistol. It's red Texas put a little pepper on the end of it, and it is an explosive pistol with a decently high fire rate. It can roll ×2 like we can see here. And we're going to test this on the target dummy and on some enemies. I haven't tested any of these weapons on enemies, so I'm going to do that live in the video. Also, the skin on it is absolutely sick. I hope we get this as something we could put on different weapons. I don't think any of the parts are really going to show anything, so I'm not going to go over the parts in any of that. So you basically just shoot it, and it's just a lobbed projectile, explosive projectile that can crit, and this is ×2, but it's just showing 1 because it just hits at the same time, and it's super basic. After we go over all these on the target dummy, we're going to go check on enemies, so there might be new stuff, and as I said, I want to kind of see what they do live in the video on the enemies. So that's the first thing. It really doesn't show. That's the Scoville. It really doesn't show much on the Scoville. You can get a fire version. I didn't want to go over, I just tried to save like 1 or 2 of each weapon to kind of show a little bit of differences. I don't know all the elements these can roll on. So this one is fire, and it has massive explosions. I'm not certain. I should probably actually turn on my FPS and see if some of these animations, that does dip the FPS quite a bit lower. We don't know if these are finished yet, like if these items are fully finished, if the animations are fully built in yet. They seem to be pretty much finished. So that is the Scoville. So next, we have another Torgue weapon. This character is super long to load, even with all the items taken out. So next we have the Craps, which I do have 2 of them, and they do have stuck gyro damage increase. So take that into consideration. On the anointed ones, like all Torgue weapons, you can't see how much. There was different increased damage amounts from the gyro jets. But yeah, pretty much like most Torgue weapons. Is a pistol, and the impact is just a normal impact. It has pretty decent damage and really insane fire rate, and then you have the stickies, This thing is probably going to be insane, absolutely insane on a unlimited ammo Mo's build, because you can shoot this thing so absolutely fast. It has a really ridiculous fire rate, and that's pretty much all I've seen on this so far from the target dummy. And like I said, not everything will show on the target dummy, so we'll have to go check on actual enemies to see if there's any differences. Now next I want to go over the boomer, and if it loads. Also, these videos are going to be not like super well thought out or anything. It's kind of just going to be live. Now this is a boomer, an SMG. I think they all rolled at ×2. And we should probably go over the checks of the crafts. It's me, that's it. Now this one is some like it hot. Bullets are laced with hot sauce. I'm thinking this has something to do with the elemental effect chance or something. So it's nothing special against the target dummy. It does seem to be explosive rounds. Yes, they are explosive rounds. You could hurt yourself. Maybe that's it. But it seems to be decent damage. Since it seems to be something more based on fire, it is something we're going to need to go test on enemies further. And this one has, or these ones have burst fire and full auto as different firing modes. Now we go to one of the most unique and coolest weapons in this entire game and in any Borderlands I've seen. Legitimately, I played all the Borderlands. This weapon is so unique. So right now, it's kind of shooting as a normal weapon. We should probably go over first. But this is the Iron Willed Lucky 7. Now, it is a Jacobs. It does crit and can shoot and can ricochet bullets. It doesn't give ammo back. Has a really high fire rate, decent base damage. Its red text is O Fortuna. Now, I had an unanointed one. I think I dropped it. It didn't have anything extra on the card. But this weapon is absolutely nuts. One of the coolest weapons. So I'm going to reload here. And as you're going to see on the right side, for a second, it pops up 5 sections. It's basically a slot machine weapon. And now, as you'll see when I shoot, because I saw what it was, it's explosive rounds. So now it's explosive rounds. Just normally firing, it does everything normal, but then explosive rounds. Now, when I reload again, it's going to randomly roll as a slot machine. That one rolled nothing, so it can roll nothing. It rolled nothing. Now this one rolled fire. Oh, that was actually elements. Okay. It did look like fire, but it's just a random element, I think. And it rolled an element, so now it's shock damage. And then reload again, and it rolled fully auto. So you can hold down the trigger and fully auto. And it's ridiculous fire rate. Now, that one didn't roll any. It can roll multiple. So every time you reload, it does it again. That's okay. So that was 2. That was I think that was headshot damage increase, crit damage increase. Oh, okay. So that one, the face thing was what are these called? The rounds with extra damage. Amped rounds. Amped rounds and explosive. So that's why it's shooting those around. The ricochets are amped. So all these are amped and explosive. That one was 3. I don't know what all those were, but it was explosive, amped, and a 7. Okay, so the 7, I've seen the 7 before. The 7 is it's now shooting ×7 rounds. I don't think it's going to actually show it on the card. No, it's not going to change the card. But now this is amped rounds, ×7 rounds, and explosive. This thing is the coolest weapon in the game. As you'll see, the damage increase it got from those rolls was nuts. So another amped rounds with explosive rounds. This one was 3. It was fully auto, something and something. It was fully auto, elemental, and something else. Just absolutely ridiculous. Explosive again. Absolutely nuts. This is the coolest weapon I have ever seen in Borderlands. Like, it's so cool. I don't know how useful it's going to be, but it is like kind of the coolest weapon. I don't think it's going to actually be super strong, like builds are going to be based around it. But when you're just playing, having fun, I think it's going to be one of the funnest weapons to use because it completely changes what the weapon does every time you reload. And you don't even have that fire more shots to reset it. You can fire 1 and then do that. So that's pretty nuts. So now, also, I'm not talented into anything. And we only have a shield on. So we're just going to go test out these weapons on some enemies now. Like I said, that Iron Build 7 is one of the coolest weapons I've seen in any Borderlands game. I don't remember any weapon that's that unique. Even though maybe it's not going to have incredibly high usage, I could definitely see people, if there's like some super hard boss, like just kind of reloading before the boss and trying to get high rolls, like 3 rolls of something and then going into it. But it is a super unique weapon. It's definitely going to be super fun to use. That's also another way how we know that these are actually DLC weapons. Besides that, in the code of the game, I can go check and see that they're all spawn codes and item pools for these weapons, is that this isn't something someone made into the game. This little symbol right there. So this, we can there's nothing special on this, but we can definitely tell like what it does. There's nothing really special off of this. It's pretty much going to do the same thing. Yeah, see that amp shot? That reload just made it like a not that great a weapon to absolutely insane. So this weapon's pretty sick in my opinion. So let's go for the Scoville now. So this shoots super fast, but it doesn't seem to do much of anything besides just shooting explosive rounds out. It does have a really high elemental effect chance though, or not chance, damage, and it does have some decent-ish damage. Take into consideration this is no damage increases, no talents or anything. This is only a shield in the weapon. So it's decently strong, but there's nothing super special with it. It's just these lobbing grenades that you can shoot out quick that also have a pretty high elemental effect damage. So now this is the craps. Okay, that's sticky. And this one is pretty basic as well. Oh wait, was that shooting out extra rounds? Oh! Every 2 shots it shoots out a ton of rounds. Oh, it's random, because that one was 2 in a row. Okay, so it randomly shoots out what looks to be 6 rounds? 5 or 6? 5. So it randomly has a chance to shoot out 5 rounds instead of 1. That's really cool and makes the extra sticky really insane damage. This is also on Mayhem 4, by the way. So that's why these things, and with no talent, so that's why these might not seem incredibly strong. But that is, yeah, that was a few times 5 rounds. Yeah, and they explode. That was actually a decent radius for stickies to explode. So this thing actually, I could definitely see being a really good weapon. Especially if you have ammo regen or infinite ammo like infinite ammo Moes. Now, if you're not super close to the target, it seems those spread pretty closely. Or not closely. The spread is not tight, so it would be hard. And they seem to randomly go everywhere. But this could be really strong. Especially since that goes from like 1 to 5. And they all have a damage increase for how many stickies. The impact, like most Torgue weapons with stickies, the impact probably isn't going to be that useful because the whole point of it is the stickies do extra damage. Now we can test the boomer and see what bullets laced with hot sauce actually does. Now it doesn't seem... Okay, that actually sprays out a lot of bullets, but this is ×2. This has a really low magazine size. It doesn't seem that strong. I don't know if it's anything special. It does seem to have a high effect chance, and I think it's just that it explodes. Its effect chance is really low, but I'm not certain if anything, if like the bullets laced in hot sauce affect that. So it does have a decent radius. So as you can see, I'm shooting right there. It has a decent-ish radius. Maybe if you had like a radius build, you could like a splash damage radius build. It could be decent. This is also considered splash damage. Actually, okay, so we're going to live test something because we happen to be on Moes. This is what the person spawned on the items on in, or That's what character responded on. So we can actually test if this procs stuff. So this can give ammo back and grenades back off splash damage. So we can actually test if this is considered like full splash damage or not. It is. Okay. So this could be a decent weapon because it's considered splash damage. She's giving us our grenades back for that chance. So it is completely considered splash damage. So anything that affects splash damage, damage increases, splash damage, talents, anything like that is going to get affected by this. So that makes this weapon a lot more decent, actually, especially since it shoots so fast. The ammo, the grenade regen is pretty crazy with this, actually. So this could definitely be something that's actually really good, especially for someone doing a splash damage build. So that's actually pretty nice. I'm actually really curious to test this weapon out with a Moe's splash damage build specifically. So that's pretty much all of the weapons I want to go over today. Like I said, I'm going to be doing videos of this. I had a bunch of videos lined up for before the DLC. Now that I can test out all these weapons from the DLC, I'm not exactly certain if those are going to come out or if it's just going to be testing out DLC weapons pre-DLC before then. But that's all the ones I wanted to go over today. So subscribe for to see more Borderlands content. Leave a like if you liked the video. Leave a comment down below what you guys think about these new DLC weapons. Let me know anything else in the comments. If you guys notice anything I didn't about these weapons, if you guys know where the red text is a reference to or anything like that, let me know in the comments. And thanks for watching.